Hello, everybody. This is just a real short video on this painting, Wheel of Fortune by Audrey Flack. Now, this painting is 8 feet by 8 feet. And I'd like for you to take a moment and look at all of the details. When the artist made this painting, she very carefully placed each thing in a very specific place. So there's a very specific relationship with all the parts. Now, we saw in Juror's Night, Death and the Devil that a skull means death. We also found out that death holds an hourglass as though time is passing. In Jan van Eyck's painting, The Marriage Portrait, we saw a candle that meant unity in that painting, but in this painting means a little something different. So as you look at this, see if you can guess what you think the piece is about. I'm going to lead you on a visual tour of this painting. Many times in Western art, we start in the upper left-hand corner because that's how we read a page. If you open up a book, you start in the upper left-hand corner. In this case, we see a portrait of the artist's daughter. The artist's daughter could be looking in any direction, left, right, up, down, but she's looking towards the right, which makes her eyes move over to the grapes. We think of grapes as fruitfulness, as being youthful, as ripening or coming of age. You'll notice that the grapes are sitting on top of the hourglass. Now, when you look at the hourglass, is the glass full, empty? You notice it's half full. So it seems like time is running out, but you're only halfway through your life. I also notice that the sand is red, the grapes are red, and that red shows up a lot in this painting. Well, red is the color of Valentine's Day, right? Or love. Red can be the color of hate. I'm seeing red, anger. So red is the color of life and passions. So we see here that the young girl has become youthful, young, full of passion. To the right of the grapes is kind of a silvery circle. And that silvery circle is a gazing ball, like what you might see in gardens. It's a round glass ball that has mercury in it. When you look at it, it's supposed to ward off the evil eye, but you can also see a reflection of yourself in the gazing ball. As I come to the tips of the grapes, I see lipstick. Now, in real life, in the painting, this lipstick is like almost a foot long. If you wear pink lipstick, you're being really girly, but this is red lipstick. And so that shows a sense of sexiness, maturity. If you put on red lipstick, you're being bold, you're being confident, you're being sexual. I also notice that not only is it resting on the skull, signifying death coming afterwards, but if you look carefully, the lipstick is leaning on a glass of wine. And once again, it's red wine. And the glass isn't full, it's not empty, it's half full and half empty. So the grapes mature into wine, and this could be a sign of this person, maturing, coming into adulthood. If you're Catholic, you might think of communion, getting to a point where you're more spiritual in life. Now, it seems like once I hit that wine glass, I kind of go tumbling down that blue cloth. I spoke before about how blue is the color of heaven, and in Catholicism, Mary, the Virgin Mary, wears the color of blue as the Queen of Heaven. Well, this isn't Mary's cloak, it's just a blue fabric or cloak. Many times in paintings, it's like we're setting a stage, and these are props on a stage. The idea is that we are all in life characters on a stage, carrying out our act, playing our part, and at some point the curtain will be drawn and we will die. The act will be over, the has played out, and now everybody's going home. And so whenever you see a curtain being pulled away, maybe there's act on a stage, Or it could be the blue veil of heaven being lifted as though your curtain has closed and you're coming to a new time of death. So we see the blue heavenly cloak are being pulled away. And as you come down to the bottom of where the skull is, I see a vanity mirror, and it's the kind that little old ladies use, and it's empty. And there's a powder puff next to it. So I get this idea of gazing into a mirror and not really seeing your own reflection, not being able to reflect on what's there. I notice that some of the grapes have fallen down as though sour grapes, the grapes have fallen off the vine. They've aged too much. And there's this anxiety about looking in the mirror. Next to the powder puff is a crystal necklace showing wealth. Now, in a painting like this, it's called a vanita, Vanita, like vanity. And a vanita says it's a still life, a painting of a group of objects that symbolizes the brevity or briefness of life. And a vanita in particular says all life is vanity. What I mean by that is we go chasing after getting an A, we go chasing after a job, money, buying cars, worrying about either where your next meal is coming from or worrying about, getting ahead in life. And in the end, we all die. And so a vanita is a reminder that life is short and think about how you spend it because we're all going to die. I see that the necklace goes up to a candle. And again, the candle's red, symbolizing life. And it's neither burnt out nor fresh. Now, we've all talked about burning a candle at both ends. It looks to me like this candle is a little bit less than halfway, symbolizing that the flame of her life or her spirit is about to be over. I notice that the calendar is burnt, the calendar page, as though these pages have been flying by and somehow the time has come to an end. At the bottom of this painting is a dice, a die, a single dice. And it's as though you've gambled with your life. It's a roll of the dice. A lime represents bitterness and being bitter about how you've spent your life. When I look at the larger mirror, this time I do see a reflection, and this person is reflecting on death. I also see a rainbow because now the rainbow, you have to think of the context. This is during the 1970s. I don't think it means gay pride because you didn't have the rainbow representing gay pride during the 70s. Instead, it's something more like somewhere over the rainbow. And so you have this idea of hope. We saw a rainbow in Kandinsky's Composition 4, which is that first and last image that we were looking at, and the rainbow was sinking down to the bottom. If you notice the rainbow, it means the sinking of hope in that piece. Here it means hope for an afterlife. Now, as I come back from the larger mirror, I see that there is a tarot card or a wheel of fortune card. And you'll see that there are both angels and demons, and that the wheel of fortune goes round and round. The stem of the grapes is pointing towards the center of the wheel of fortune. When I look at this entire painting, I realize that the artist has put everything in a circle. So not only do you have the wheel of fortune tarot card, like the wheel of fate is spinning, but you also have the composition itself in a rolling wheel-like compositional line to show the cycle of life. Now, I've posted a Quizlet. See if you can, how many of these you can remember, and see if you can make some connections between the individual parts. By that I mean, look at how the artist has placed the hourglass on one side of the skull, and the blue veil of life on the other side of the skull. Notice how the candle seems to be kind of burning at the crystal necklace, meaning that when your life is over, all of that wealth doesn't mean anything. So you can not only look at the individual elements, but how the elements are organized in the painting. Hope you enjoyed